right, so welcome to episode 11 of the Grindhouse Podcast. I'm Edwin Cabrera.
Chris Martin.
We have a special guest. He's a part of the Grindhouse family, member of Black Rose from Houma, Louisiana. You may have heard him before. We've been associated with Tron for about like a year and a half, 2 years now.
Probably two.
Yeah,
probably two.
The beginning of the label.
Yeah, and we've known about Tron for a little bit now. Like, we've done some stuff for Tron for a little bit. He's releasing his new EP on November 15th called 16 Plasma. Check that out.
And this should be out around the same time.
This will be out. So yeah, we'll probably be releasing this podcast around the same time as the record is out. So if you're watching this, check that out. It's on Spotify. We'll have that at a few places.
Apple Music,
all that shit. So check it out. Tron Pheiffer is our guest for today. What'd you say?
LimeWire,
yeah. If you want to get digital herpes.
Does that exist still? What was the other one? It was LimeWire.
Napster.
Fucking Napster.
Yeah.
I never used that one. I used Meta something. Fucking Meta. Anyway. So yeah, if you wanna illegally download, I'm sure we'll have a link on LimeWire somewhere if that still exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the podcast. We're happy to have you on.
No problem, man. Happy to be on, man.
Yeah, man. So here, I want to start with sort of how we got associated with somebody, because we're we sort of look at ourselves when we started the record label as sort of like a local record label, just because our resources would be much easier spread out locally. And Tron came into the picture at some point early on in the label.
Pretty quickly, yeah. Like we had just I think we just put out the J2 music video, and I think we were posting it around was it Reddit?
Yeah. We were advertising it around, throwing it around places. Reddit was one of them.
Yeah.
And we got Tron hitting us up on Reddit. So he messaged me, he hit me up saying like, "Yo, your dude's nice, but I'm a little nicer." And I was like, "Oh shit, okay, I'll check this guy." I mean, if he's saying shit like that, I might as well check out what he has. And so I looked at your catalog. Check out Tron Pheiffer's Bandcamp if you just want an extended catalog of his work. Some of that might not be on Spotify.
Yeah, we'll post that in the description. So
yeah, so let's jump into, because you have a discography of work that just like a back catalog of work that's worth listening to. So let's start with some of the stuff that you release, and then we'll circle back to your new release. Could you tell us about? Right. Could you tell us about first of all how you got started rapping? Let's start with there. How did you get started rapping?
I couldn't even tell you. Are you talking about what influenced me to start it, or just the moment that I started? Because it's kind of on some
I would say the
Uncle
moment.
Tom shit, how I started. Because some white kid looked at me and was just like, "Man, you look like you rap." And I was 12, 13 years old, and I was just like, "Word?" And he was just like, "Yeah, you just look like you rap for some reason." So I got out a pen and paper and I wrote "sometimes." That was literally the only word that I wrote, because he wanted me to write like a rap. And then I crumpled that shit up. I'm like, man, I ain't about to fucking be no goddamn play toy to this white dude.
Yeah.
And then later on, I think I started really becoming interested in the shit. So then I think I started just writing for real, probably a year or two after that. So he was right in a sense, but it was still racist.
It was definitely racist. He just looked at you and assumed that this guy knows how to rap. That's definitely racist.
Yeah.
But did that stick in your head when you started rapping after the fact? Once you picked it up again, was that thought still? Did he essentially plant the seed in your head to start rapping at that point?
I mean, I don't want to give him shine, so I'm gonna say no.
No. All right, that's fair.
I'm stubborn.
So when it comes to Black Rose, how did y'all form?
I was friends with I was friends with Vaughn for years. That's my brother.
Yeah.
I've been knowing him for a while, and then I had met him randomly one day, and he'd been knowing that I do music, so he was just like, "Yo, you still you still write? Because I haven't seen him for like 3 years at this point. And I was just like, yeah, I still do a little something. And he was just like, man, you need to come through to my house one day. My brother like really started rapping, and he just released something. So yeah, gave me a CD. And whenever I listened to it, I was just like, damn, this dude nice for a motherfucker down here. So then I was just like, let me actually like meet him just to like see what's up. And then there's just been history ever since then.
Who was his brother? Who was his brother in the group that we're talking? Is he in Black Rose also?
As Saint.
There you go. Yeah, cool. I was trying to get around to that because you didn't drop that, but yeah. So Von B and Saint were met essentially through you just rapping. Essentially, were you in school with Von B? Is that how you guys met, linked up?
Yeah.
What age did you guys like meet each other?
7, maybe 7 or 8. No. I'm tripping. Yeah, actually, 7 or 8. That's probably when we started linking up. You ever seen the Chappelle Show episode, like the first episode where it was Clayton Bigsby?
Yeah.
All right. If you look at that episode and you see him as a child with them big ass glasses, that's what he looked like.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
He gonna kick my ass saying that.
And then when you met, so 7th or 8th grade is when you met Von. When did he introduce you to Saint?
I was 19. So yeah, that's when we formed it.
Damn, so that's like, what are you, 28 now? 27,
29?
29?
So yeah, like 10 years ago.
Damn, 10 years. Congratulations to you guys.
Wait, what?
Congratulations to you guys staying in a group for 10 years like that.
Yeah. I mean, look, we all got a mission. We all had like goals that pretty much transferred throughout the years. So like that's what like our whole shit is just based on. Like our whole friendship is just based on the like-mindedness that we have. Yeah. And we that's why like I don't even call them my friends no more. Like those are like my brothers. Yeah. Those are like real shit, like my blood brothers. I fucking love those guys.
How do you guys figure out when to like plan your release? Do you guys plan on like when you do a release, or like let's say Saint's working on something, or Von B and Saint's working on something, and you're working on something? How do you guys talk about releasing and when you'll release? Is there like some sort of like a system in place for how you handle that rollout?
It's just whoever gets it done first, really. Yeah. Or if we just feel, well, there is some planning where it's just like sometimes we'll feel that somebody's music would go great with like this season or like this month or something like that. We'll just release around this time. That's why in reality, we always shoot for like the fall, winter, because our shit is more like that type of music that we make.
Word.
Have you guys ever thought about doing like a joint record together, like everybody?
We always talked about that. I think like we starting to put like the emotions behind it. I always knew like we just didn't want to do it because we wanted like, I don't think we were ready at that time. So I think like now it's just like becoming more of a reality than just all talk.
Yeah. So let's talk about your solo career at this point, starting from like your like early release albums. I think I want to start. I think so. You released Androided first. Can you talk a little bit just quickly about Androided? Because I really want to kind of move on to talking about Heroin Chick and the few songs that we really fucked with, and that's why we wanted to fuck with you. But I wanted to talk about Androided first, just to sort of like hear your spiel about like what that time was like recording the album, where your mindset was at recording the album, and like sort of like the overall like how you feel about it and what you were trying to do with it.
I think just then, that's actually when I made the turn to like get real serious about this shit. Because back then I was just doing it just because like we sounded cool doing it, and I guess there was just like a style that we was trying to chase, which was like, since we from down here around that time, Currency was like becoming like a big thing. Like whenever he released like Smokey Robinson, and he had linked up with Dame Dash, and they was releasing stuff out of DD-172. So like that was like our real big influence. So we was just doing that type of shit. Android, it was like the first project to where it's just like, okay, I like this style, but like let me like really do my own style. So like that was like a real big thing for me. That was the first record I did with my homeboy Kyle. Shout out to Kyle because that's my guy. And that's when we just started like building the relationship between the both of us.
How did that start between you and Kyle?
Wait, what'd you say?
How did that start? Like, how did you meet Kyle?
Oh, I've been knowing Kyle for actually some dude we don't fuck with anymore. He was like our mutual friend, and then he was on some dumb shit, and then me and him just got cool. And then like I think once he found out that we did music, that's when he was like really started becoming really interested because he found out that like we was like not on some bullshit, like we was actually like rapping.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah, I mean that shit's hard.
And so what does he do? He mixes for you. What is his role within your within your like rap career?
The engineer.
Yeah.
Pretty much that's like the mainstay of what he does.
Yeah. Word. And he's helped you since Androided. So he started with Androided till now.
2013.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
All right. So Heroin Chick. Let's talk about Heroin Chick. I want to
Heroin Chic.
Heroin Chic. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've been saying that wrong for a long time. Just been saying Heroin Chick because the front cover was a chick. I was like, oh, this is Heroin Chick.
Yeah. You know what that is, though, huh?
Huh?
You know what that is?
No. To break it down.
Oh, it's just it was a fashion style in the 80s that like made models have like sunken cheeks and shit around their eyes just to make it seem like they were on heroin.
Oh,
so
shit.
that was like the like I just thought it was a cool ass name. That
is a cool ass name.
Project at all.
That is. I had no idea that you just like turned me on to something I had no idea about until now. Now that you said it, like I definitely know. Like I feel like isn't Courtney Love? I mean, she's probably actual heroin, but isn't her kind of look kind of like that Heroin Chic type?
That type of shit, yeah.
Word.
Like I say the 80s, like 90s. That was really like when it started like popping up. For
sure. Can we talk about Blase real quick from that album? That's one of my favorites to this day. I know it's like it's not like your favorite track personally. Yeah. I think in terms of your whole catalog, that shit still rings off for me.
Yeah. So no, let me tell you, I would never like because we were in between recording like studios because he used to record me at his mom's house or his parents' house, and I think like he was about to get like a real deal studio, but in the meantime,
Kyle?
he let
you talking about Kyle?
Yeah. So like in the meantime, he asked his homeboy to help us out. Shout out to Raimi, and we recorded all that shit in a day. Like that's why like sometimes my vocals aren't as strong as like the beginning because we did that shit from 1 to 8 or 1 to 10, however long that is. Dog, when I tell you like I put the beat on for Blase and I started rapping, and I was just like, all right. So y'all know what this about to be. So like they put their best foot forward in that one. Like that's why that one probably like sounds better than like everything on that project. Like I knew I was dope. Trust me, bro.
I think
ain't saying nothing I don't know.
Well, I think when I first heard the track, and I think this is probably one of the first tracks because when you hit me up on Reddit just to say, just to like say like, hey, I'd be interested in working with you guys. I was like, all right, let me check out what he has. And I think I don't know if I went to Android at first. I think maybe at the time you had released Heroin Chic, and maybe that was the first thing that I looked at for whatever reason.
No, I didn't do electronica yet when I met y'all. Heroin Chic was done.
Yeah, so and that's what I'm saying. So Androided was your first release, but I think by the time you hit me up, you were like I think Heroin Chic was the one that you had recently put out, and so that's maybe why I listened to that one first.
Yeah.
And like when I think Blase, was that the record that you pushed? Oh, it was on your SoundCloud. That's how I found it. It was on your SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And so that's what I checked out.
I remember
first.
like that's what it was. We were like checking out the SoundCloud.
Yeah. And I think what I liked about it is first of all, like I really love that like your voice, you have like this like deep, like southern voice that really cuts through on like on your music, on your beats. And that was the first thing that grabbed me. And then just like the production, which was it felt like a haunting, I don't know, like it's like a horror movie type fucking beat, you know? What beat was that?
I don't know.
It like brings you to like
You want me to
another
be real?
place.
Was that from another rap record, or was that like something that
Nah.
somebody made and you got?
Yeah, somebody just made it and I got it. I have a good ear.
Yo, you should. Who was that?
I don't know. I forgot.
Oh, you should
gotta
find
track
out.
that person down.
That
No,
shit
but
was
like-
that's even
So
to,
like, I think that's like the best thing. I'm not gonna say his name. I remember it now. That's probably like the best thing he's made was that one right there.
Oh really?
Because like all he makes is just like one-off sampled size beats. Like all his shit is like a minute 30, a minute 45.
Oh, really?
Like how Knowledge be doing them short beats. That's how he does it now.
well, I mean, maybe it's still
Chris,
worth it to reach
Chris,
out.
don't tell me what to do.
He was just laughing, but I don't know that. So I mean, kudos to whoever that was though, because that beat was hard, and it still is. I was listening to it the other day just to like, I don't know why I was just getting in that mood. I was like, oh, let me just listen to the track that I first listened to Tron, like when we first like started working with him, and it still rings off. I feel like if that was re-released and it was mastered, so it just like it hits a little bit more, it could still ring off, you know. But I know, but in terms of your style, and so that was one. I really love the style of that record, but in terms of your own personal style, I feel like it's been changing or progressing or going in different paths with every release. Could you talk a little bit about that? Like you're changing as an artist per album and what that's been like from just from Androided all the way down to 16 Plasma. I know 16 Plasma is more of an EP, but like the sound is definitely a little bit different than your previous releases. I just want to know more about it from your end.
I just wanted to just have something different each release. Like I never got when other people said that shit, but like now I do, just because like people grow as time evolves. I don't want to just stay stuck in a box, because I think that's the one thing that me, Shane and Vaughn always talk about is we don't never want to be confined in a box. Like we just want to be outside the box pretty much. Like we just want to have diversity in just everything. We don't want to just be rappers. We want to be artists. Like we just want people to take us seriously. Like just coming from down here, like y'all, I already tell y'all like all the time, like just how it is down here. So like in order for us to stand out, we just have to be like the better versions of ourselves.
Can you like elaborate on sort of like your scene in your area? I know like we know a lot about it because like we work with you, but maybe like talk about like the very little rap scene that you have.
It's just small as fuck. It ain't shit down here. They got about besides us, like 3 other people that's dope, and then pretty much like what y'all tell me is just a whole bunch of people like stuck in the regional sound. That's pretty much like how it is over here.
Okay.
Shout out LC, shout out Jalen Quinn, and shout out Devon. Those are like who I'm talking about.
Word. And has that, because we were talking recently, what's been the growth, if any, in terms of the community down there in Houma for hip hop?
None.
Seriously? Oh.
None, bro. Like, ain't no growth. There's just none. Like the people that I named, they got the stranglehold of it. Like that. Like it's us. That's really it.
What about man, I mean, and I feel like if you talk to any Lim rappers, they tell you the same thing. I mean, I see a change in what's happening. So, I mean, but we've talked to a few artists and they're just like, yeah, it's not there. I think in Lynn, just to kind of like compare what's happening over there, compare to what's happening over here, maybe hopefully you start to see some of these things change. I think what's happening in Lynn is the fan support is still quite not there, but the artist support has grown exponentially since like a few years ago. Like you look at 5 years, no fan was fucking with a local artist just because that perception of like, oh, he's just a little, he's not like mainstream. There's that like that people like something that they know is good, quote unquote, and if you to be good to some people is like to be signed to like a major label or something like that. And so I feel like in Lynn, a lot of really, really, really good artists get put aside because they're not looked at as like, mainstream or accepted by the mainstream culture, so they're not good artists, which is fucking bullshit. And then, but 5 years ago, I think artists also weren't like really as communal, and now we're seeing artists work with each other all the time, and that's where the change is coming from. Like the artists are working with each other, and they're making the scene hot, and now it's up to the fans to catch up and support it if they want to, and stay out of it, and then don't support, and then have rappers be like, yeah, you guys didn't do shit for me.
Yeah.
And go, some rappers, that's where they go to like fucking Brooklyn or they move to another place because like the community was just never there for us, even though we were fucking there for them the whole time.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the change that Wayne is
making. They always say that your hometown gonna be the last place that fuck with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
but you could try to make it hot. You guys can.
Bro, we've been out there with matches for years.
Damn.
Like we've been out there with matches for years, just flicking that motherfucker.
Huh.
There's nothing happening.
We get little sparks here and there. Yeah. That's it. Not a full flame.
So let's change gears real quick and talk about the new album 16 Plasma and a little bit about like what we're hearing. So it's a 5-song EP. Do you want to talk a little bit about what's on the EP and what we can expect to hear?
Yeah, shit. I mean, first of all, it's kind of a random name, but like the name came from I was watching Don't Be Cruel by Bobby Brown, and I realized that there's a shot where they have 16 TVs, and for some reason I was just like, damn, if they had 16 like plasma screens, that would be hard. And then I was just like, damn, is plasma screens the plural? And I was like, no, it's like plasma, like geese. And then I was just like 16 plasma, and then that's how I came up with the name.
Oh wow!
16 plasma. It literally means nothing at all. It just sounds dope.
It sounds dope. Like it sounds like some shit. It sounds like some some fucking chemical.
Yeah, like that's all right.
Give me the 16 plasma. Yo, you got that 16 plasma, son?
Oh shit, we about to make this shit a drug. Don't give everything away. But as far as like the sound, I just really wanted to capture. This is actually where the name comes from again, because I was just like, the diameter of the 16 plasma screens might be like one big jumbotron. So the jumbotron is just me showcasing everything I'm able to do. That's why the 5 songs are just totally different in nature, but I try to make them the best versions of like that I can create. Like I got some hard shit, I got some lyrical shit, I got some storytelling shit. Just like all that shit, I just want to roll into one.
Is Layover your storytelling shit?
Yeah, bro.
That's my. I guess I'm a sucker for the storytelling shit. That's just who I am. Like whenever I hear a rapper telling me a story, I sit down and I listen to it. I don't know why. I just like that's the way I am. So that is like my favorite track off the EP. And I just wanted to hear more about recording that song and the writing process for that song, what it's about.
But that one. So one of my homeboys had told me something about his friend who was like, he was like gone off some shit. So he had told me like this long drawn out story, and I wrote a song that was influenced by that song, and that was actually going to go on this EP. It was going to be that one. But then I was just like, well, it doesn't make sense if I didn't tell a story before how that happened. So I was just like, well, let me tell a story. Let me just make up something real quick of like how he got to this position. And so that's what Layover is. That's why I talk about him as a child and then jump into what he is now. Like how I say, like I build up his childhood into possibly what like a sheltered child might go through. Yeah. Whereas just like if a child is sheltered their whole life, then they won't amount to like what they could possibly be later on in life. Yeah. That's pretty much like what that whole that's what that whole song is really about. I'm deep, bro.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you like what type of style when it comes to like writing raps do you prefer? Like is that like do you think that's your bag, like the storytelling aspect of writing, or like
storytelling? Like I like more like hip hop shit, really. Like Superstar, like that type of beat, kind of like I like that. I prefer that type of style more than anything. But I mean, like I like all the type of styles that I do on 16 Plasma. Like I like rapping over real hard trap shit every once in a while just to flex. I like rapping on shit like Purple, which is like off kilter type of production. I like rapping over. I really just like rapping, and I would just want to showcase everything I'm doing.
Yeah, I dig that too, and I think with like with Purple and I think Superstar. I think so. There's a lot of what did you say? Like what 80s pop inspired like music?
That's what Purple really is.
So talk to me about that. Like what's the talk to me about like the inspiration behind like the production.
That one I think I just like just the glistening sound of it, and I really just like the keys on it. That was really it.
What were you listening to in terms of like music that was like maybe not hip hop that you were like just was in your head when you were like thinking of beats or things that caught your ear?
Oh shit! Like just on the regular, I really just listen to 80s like synth pop, 80s pop, 80s R&B, 90s R&B. What else? I listen to 70s soul every once in a while. 70s not like I don't really get down with the 70s like that. What else? Just the 80s and 90s really, like whatever stems from that decade. That's really what I fuck with the most.
Why is that? Is it like
I have no idea. I was actually asking Saint the other day because that's another thing that me and him like bond over is that 80s synth pop. Like we'll talk about bands and shit like that. And I have another homeboy that loves the same shit. So I was just like, yo, why the fuck do all of us like
that's interesting
synth pop? And then I was just like, yo, it had to be 808s. It had to be 808s and Heartbreak. And then I asked him, and he was just like, that makes sense why we like that shit so much.
Because I figured maybe it was like your parents or some shit, like playing the music on Saturday while cleaning the house, like shit like that.
Mom played like the Temptations and like that type of shit.
Yeah.
Nothing
that
was
interesting. How did y'all all get into that? Because I wouldn't say that that's like something that we're all listening to. Yeah. I'm not running to the 80s like synth pop like like
you missing out. You missing out, bro. They got some hard.
Gonna have to check it out.
Throw me some Rex, exactly.
Man, I could.
Yeah, who would you recommend?
Pet Shop Boys. They're hard.
The Pet Shop Boys.
I mean, like he's not really synth pop, but like Phil Collins is just like that guy's.
I fuck with Phil.
Level 42. That's a band. Pink Rhythm. They're real fucking hard. Who else? Bananarama's alright, but like Cruel Summer is really just like the song that I really like. Like they have more popular songs, but that's just one that I really like. The Human League. That's a really good band. Who else? That's all I can think of off the top of my head. I can send y'all a list of the shit that I'm.
Send me some. I'm always my ears are always open to music. I'm just not like when I'm at like the because I'm trying to start a new like record collection. Like I've been into like that, like just trying to find a fucking hobby. So lately I've been like going to the record store trying to like buy a new record every week. The first thing I'm not doing is running for synth pop, like 80s synth pop. Yeah. But I fuck like when I listen, like when somebody's playing some shit and I listen to it, I like it. I dig it. Would you consider like is Morrissey like synth pop? What is Morrissey?
Isn't Morrissey like racist as shit?
I don't know. Are they?
Yeah, he's I think he's definitely done some fucked up shit.
Is he?
Yeah. That's what I like.
I don't know what exactly he's done, but I know.
Who?
From the Smiths?
Yeah, from the Smiths.
Yeah, I don't listen to him. Just off the strength, like I heard he does some real wild shit, so I just don't listen to him.
I thought he was gay.
I think
shit. I don't know.
Something with him that like he said something fucked up. Or he did something fucked up.
I don't know why.
I can't pin it. Like
I just this is a bad thing to assume, but I just assume that if you're gay, like chances are that you've been like oppressed, so like you wouldn't like be as fucking racist as like Are we sure about this?
I don't know.
All right, I have to look because I fucking love the Smiths. I was like I love the Smiths. They're great, but if they're saying some racist shit, I don't know if I can fuck with it.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like once I found that shit out, I'm cool.
Oh, goddamn. So yeah, I guess
like Joy Division, you might fuck with Joy Division.
Joy Division, yeah.
Yeah, I like Joy Division.
Yeah, they on some depressing shit though.
Yeah,
I fuck with
for sure. That's
he is kind of racist. He made like a far right like thing.
That's not kind of racist, Chris.
Yeah, he's, he may have hung someone or some shit.
Yeah, bro, that motherfucker's blatantly racist. That's what that sounds like.
That's interesting. All right, well, I guess I can't fucking listen to the Smiths anymore.
I mean, it's your prerogative. You can do what you want to do.
It's like, do you still listen to R. Kelly?
Fuck no. I never was a big Kells Pied Piper fan from the beginning.
That's bullshit.
Fuck that.
That man hasn't. I mean, I know I'm with you now, but you can't say that he didn't always that dude's talented.
I don't give a fuck. He showed up on the Cassidy video with the Zorro mask on. I'm good on that.
He did do that.
And he called himself the Pied
There's video of that.
You know what the Pied Piper did, dog?
Yeah.
He lured children.
Yeah, that dude was all the way fucking nasty.
Yeah,
we knew for a fucking long time since Aaliyah that he was nasty.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of just I feel like the whole world, not just me, but the whole world played dumb after the Aaliyah shit because he married a fucking 15-year-old girl. What more do you need than that?
Yeah.
But I gave him a shot because he released I Believe I Can Fly. That shit was dope. And so I was like, all right.
Yeah, I remember I got the cassette.
You can't release I Believe I Can Fly and be a piece of shit, right? That's what I was thinking back then. So he won me back. And then obviously the fucking peace shit happened, and I was like, all right, fuck this dude.
Yeah.
And now that I'm a fully grown adult and he's still pulling this shit and he's enslaving people, I'm like, all right, now I can't listen to Ignition.
Fuck him.
Yeah, he sucks.
But back to you though. Back to you. So
man, what a segue.
They should took a turn.
This took a dark fucking turn.
Yo.
Jesus Christ.
God damn.
Yeah. So back to you. Don't you make R. Kelly tight? It's like, no,
Don't you make me?
You end the call.
So
it's like, well, that's it.
So let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about visuals. Can we expect visuals for this?
For sure. That's what I was doing before I came over here. Going over.
What do you want to let the people know about the visual? When can we expect something? What kind of concept? What song? If you can, if you want to just go on a limb and say that.
Purple.
All right.
It's gonna be that one. Yeah. Because I feel like that one can. That one has that one's just dope to me.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be some cool visuals. That's all I can say.
Word.
I don't really have it all mapped out. I ain't even trying to be mysterious or nothing. I just don't.
Still developing it. Word.
When do you think it'll be out?
Whoa, Chris, you rushing me.
He's got his executive hat on. He's like, well, we got a deadline we gotta meet.
Damn. It's soon. I promise you. I promise you soon.
I'm kidding, dude. Word. So this EP, this EP is about a 5-song EP. Is there something you're setting up for, an album sooner rather than later? Like when it comes to releasing a full project, when can we expect that?
I honestly couldn't even tell you. I don't have it in my head.
Word.
Just now. I'm not in the once I come with a full decision on what I want to talk about, because an album is a dedication.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just in the EP space. I don't really know what I'm gonna flesh out for more than 5 songs just yet.
Tron, real quick about I wanted to talk about Electronica, which is the album he released prior to the EP that he just released. I think he released it February of 2018, right? Just around there.
I'm not too sure.
I think it was around that time,
Yeah,
about
so
a year or so ago. Yeah, a year and a half ago or so. There's a couple songs that I really, really fucking love from the album that I just wanted to talk about and pick your brain on. The first is Spreewell. So Spreewell's, for people at home, Google that shit. There's a music video to it. I fucking love that type of found footage, that old footage type music video, and you guys did a really good job with that. Shout out Drew Miller, who shot the video, who's your cousin, right?
Yes, sir.
So keep it in the family on that one. So that's dope. So check that out on YouTube. But talk about Spreewell's a little bit and just that the sound for and production for the album, and that song specifically.
I think that's actually, boy, y'all about to be mad at me. That's the same dude that did Blase.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
dude,
bro.
you need to hit this guy up. I'm saying because
So-
those are 2 of my favorite. Did he do PM Dawn also? Because if he did, I'm like, why? Okay, I was gonna say there's no excuse now. We gotta hit this guy up today.
Trust me, I would have hit him up a while ago. But that that's actually the same time I made Blase, was that I found that one and I just held on to that until Electronica.
Oh,
so,
I see.
Yeah,
I think it definitely
one,
fit better with Electronica for sure.
Yeah, that, like I had Electronica probably like a year and a half before I released it.
Yeah.
Like everything was done. But yeah, that one, shit, I had heard it and it sounded like a hype ass 90s beat.
Yeah, it does.
So that's why I was like messing with it, and I was just like, well, shit, let me like actually just go off. It really don't mean nothing. Obviously, like it's just me spitting my ass off and then just
It definitely had that old school like boom bap, like just like rap to this and try to make it sound as fly as possible. It's definitely a song I feel like is a good cruise song. You know, like when you're just like trying to listen to something that like goes hard on the speakers and you're just driving around. I love it. It seems like that, like a great song for that. PM Dawn, I love because of like the if I were to come up with a word for like to describe that record, it'd be like avant-garde. Like I feel like that record is so like is different. So talk about who like the production for it, and then just like developing that sound for the record.
I mean, I don't even want to sound like born or nothing, but shit, I heard it, and then that's just like the style that came to it. Was I actually like I'm just playing off my influences. I was listening to them while I was listening to that instrumental, and then I was just like, well, shit, everybody makes songs about bands, but nobody's touching like the random bands. So I just put PM Dawn. I threw PM Dawn a little shot.
You did. So I was wondering why. Like why PM Dawn out of all?
PM Dawn's dope as fuck. For real, dog.
So was it a nod or was it a shot?
I mean, it was a nod. That's what I meant to say. It was a nod.
Okay.
Oh shit. What would I look like dissing PM Dawn in 2019?
Well, I didn't know. Yeah. Because how does the chorus go for that?
I just want to feel some zen like PM Dawn. Add another one that said shaking up and throwing off like PM Dawn, because I think that was KRS-One had a show.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. So that line was the line where I'm like, is he trying to say he doesn't want to be like PM Dawn getting like fucking booted by KRS-One? So
I hope I don't get beat up by KRS-One.
I also don't want to get beat up by KRS-One. So
like it's not on my bucket list.
But I didn't know if it was like a nod towards PM Dawn or a shot, because I feel like he's somebody in hip hop that's like, you know, is easy to take a shot from, because that's like the most infamous PM Dawn story. Is just like fucking Boogie Down Productions taking over his performance and fucking lighting that shit up. So I was like,
I mean, like it's just the dual thing, because like the style that they make now, motherfuckers is doing that like right now. Like it's more like the singing rapping thing. He just did it just a little bit too. He was ahead of his time. That was really, like what I could say. R.I.P. To him.
Yeah, R.I.P.
When it comes to like writing your songs, do you like seek out beats and then write to those beats?
It's a whole mixture. Like most of the time, I'll look for a sound that I want to talk about like first, because like that's why like my style is just so like sporadic. That's why I don't want to be confined into one thing, because there's one day where I want to rap over some shit that sound like PM Dawn and then there's some times where I want to rap to shit like Spreewell. There's some shit that I want to rap like Layover. There's some shit that sometimes where I want to rap like over some shit with like Lakewood. It's just like I just want to keep my ear trained to listen to everything and just have like a sharp thing. So like my style just has to conform to everything. So that's why like it's just like whatever catches me first. And then like sometimes I'll have like concepts written that I want to talk about, but just don't have the instrumental yet. There's some lines that I have. It's just a whole bunch of shit. There's not like one specific thing I do time after time after time.
How were you able to, like you have a certain cadence to your rap. How, like, is that something that you are like, what am I trying to say here? Is your cadence, and I think you kind of switched it a little bit on this new record, right? Is there like a switch to your cadence? I feel like electronica, the way you rap on electronica compared to the way you rap on 16 Plasma, like something changed with the flow a little bit there. Am I wrong?
I don't know. I personally don't think so. I think just like the since the production is so sporadic on this one, that my usual like I guess darker tones have more like a brighter tone now. So it's just like I'm just trying to dip in and dab in that, because I mean just the point of using my voice as an instrument, I can't. I want to use it more as like an overall thing instead of just like me having like one fucking monotone as voice. So that's why like I just want to challenge myself on everything.
Yeah, I feel like maybe that's something I just picked up on the record. That along with the singing also. So the singing, are you incorporating that more into your music?
Yeah, bro. Like that. I think of myself more. This is gonna sound very bougie of me, but I think of myself more as a songwriter than a rapper. Because like if you dissect my lines, they're like I think I'm hard as shit. So it's just like I don't want to be one of those guys to just rap everything and you miss it. So I'd rather like give some type of emotion behind it, whether it be singing or whether like it be a like I guess a choppier flow. Yeah, that's really like I just want people to capture everything I'm saying now.
When did you start incorporating singing into your music?
I really wanted to around Heroin Chic, either Android or Heroin Chic, because if you go back and listen to them, like there's some singing on there, but it's just like I just wasn't like built for that. Like my voice wasn't used to hitting certain pitches and notes and stuff like that. So it's just like the singing on Android, it sounds different than Heroin Chic. The singing on Heroin Chic sounds different than the singing on electronica. Yeah. So this one is just like ever growing into something.
Yeah, because I feel like the singing that I've heard on previous records, there's always some sort of like filter, like a voice filter or something, where it's like singing, but it's almost like a haunted kind of voice coming from like a distance. And I feel like that's like how you incorporated like your singing parts before. Whereas I feel like on this EP, on 16 Plasma, I feel like there's more like actual just straight up you singing without any sort of filter or any sort of modulation at all.
Like once I realized that I could hold a pitch, I was just like, all right, let me try and like get this shit going. Cause like, I mean, like back then to now, it's just all about confidence. If you want me to be like real frank with you, it's just all about confidence. Like the confidence in my voice wasn't there. So that's why I sound different now than I did on electronica and Heroin Chic and Android, because like it's just I was just talking, I wasn't rapping. So now I'm rapping and I'm just incorporating more inflections in my voice and more like everything. I just want, like I said earlier, I just want to be an overall artist instead of just a rapper.
Dope.
Is there like a sound that you haven't explored yet that you want to incorporate?
80 synth pop.
Okay, so that's next, do you think?
Like give me time whenever like I really start killing shit. Oh man, y'all gonna be looking at me crazy.
So is it gonna be like 80 synth hip hop, or is it gonna just be like
nope.
other genre? You're just gonna go out of the hip hop genre and just be 80 synth?
That's the plan. That's the real plan.
I feel like the name Tron Pheiffer might actually fit well. Yeah, I feel like that kind of rings a bell. You know, that name Tron Pheiffer with 80 synth pop. I feel like it could go.
I can see that. Yeah.
Because I feel like I think of the movie Tron. You know the movie Tron?
Yeah.
Like the older Tron, not the new one.
I ain't never even seen that shit. My name is that, but I ain't never even seen that movie.
Well, I feel like that like Tron, because of that movie, I think of like those 80s like graphic design. Like, you know how it's always like multicolored and like kind of like spread across. Yeah, neon, bright. Yeah. I could definitely see that.
More cyberpunk. That's really like what that style.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what you think about with Tron. I mean, yeah, that's really like where that sound came from. I mean, I came from, but it's just like that's what like you think about whenever you think of cyberpunk.
Yeah,
I feel you on that. I love that shit too.
Yeah. And so let's see, we have probably another 10 minutes left on the pod before we should wrap up. So let me ask you in terms of um, the next. So we talked about how you are experimenting more with like your singing. Have you done any sort of thing? Are you only focused right now on the singing and rapping, or are you working to get more versatile in other areas of hip hop, such as like beat making or writing for other people, so on and so forth? Like, what are you focused on right now? What are you looking to gain more from in future projects?
Just more diversity. If you, that's really like it. I just want to just show that I'm like a Swiss Army knife.
Mm-hmm.
If like I can, like I don't want to just. You don't want to open a motherfucking Swiss Army knife, find out it's just a butter knife. You don't want that to happen. There's a bunch of people out there where like you see the little packet, you open it up and it's just a butter knife. Mm-hmm. I want to have a screw, like a screwdriver, a knife, a butterfly knife, a fork, a spork, a spoon, all that shit. I want like every type of cutlery whenever you open that up. Like I want everything on there. I just want to like expand my horizons past a certain sound.
Yeah. And
I want people to just know that like whenever you hear Tron, that's not the sound that I'm gonna be on.
Well, I say that because you have like an interesting ear for music and beats, like the beats you pick. Consistently throughout all your releases, there's just like the beats you pick are they're not always so like traditional or just like the whatever the standard is, whether it be like trap or like boom bap, whatever. There's just a little bit, there's elements that stick out in the productions that you pick that I feel like it kind of just says something about your ear. And so the reason I was asking you that is like, are you looking to sort of make your own beats at some point because your ear is a little bit different and like you kind of have like a little bit of like things that you look into for what like jumps out as far as a beat for you to record over? Are you thinking of creating your own in the future?
That's something that I'm definitely going to do later on.
Yeah.
I'm just focused on the writing aspect right now. Cool. But yeah, definitely like the beat aspect, I'm definitely going to do that shit one day.
Yeah. Yeah, I've wondered what that would sound like if you were like, you decided to go the Kanye route and like write and make your own beats and shit. Because it's just, the beats that you pick. And how do you go about doing that real quick? Like, how do you go about selecting like what's your like network like for searching for these like really avant-garde sounding beats?
There's about 5 or 6 YouTube producers that I found that make those type of beats, and I just I cycle through them. Like every project, like 16 Plasma probably got about 40 or 50 songs.
Yeah.
They like, and I condensed them to that 5. So it's just like I'm just constantly writing. Like I'm done with my next one. I'm writing 2 currently right now. I just want to be a workhorse. So that's really like what's gonna challenge me later on is how can I be a workhorse and how can I be diverse at the same time? Because the more shit you put out, it's just gonna start sounding the same. So I just find like every project I just wanted to at least have a theme, but the sound is different than the last project.
Yeah. And how do you make it, like, real quick, I guess it could be our last question here. How do you make, with each project that you release, how do you make it your own, like its own distinct thing? How do you make it sound different from the previous release?
I mean, I just have like an overlying thing that I want to talk about, and then I just execute it. Like I said, like the 16 Plasma is really just like, what would I put on my Jumbotron?
Yeah.
If I was just to project something to the world, what would I want? And it's just a whole bunch of different stuff. That's why everything just sounds different. Like my next one is just a overall lion thing, and then I'm just talking about like something. It's a certain feel. My next one it has an overall theme. Whereas this is just so vague that I could just do anything.
Yeah.
So it's just like I'm just trying to think outside the box. Like what I always say. Like I just want to do the most different stuff. Pretty much, just don't put me in a box. That's really like the main thing.
You're the Swiss Army knife.
I'm a Swiss Army knife. I'm everything. I'm never mind. Don't worry about it. I I lost it.
Well, thank you, Tron.
I'm a
Thank you.
shapeshifter. That's what I wanted to say.
The what?
I'm a shapeshifter.
Are you a reptilian shapeshifter?
I don't have enough money yet.
Oh shit! Yeah, you gotta be exclusive for that club.
Yeah.
You are a shapeshifter when it comes to music.
I gotta be a Illuminati status for that shit.
Yeah, you ain't quite there yet,
pretty
buddy.
much. And then that's gonna lead me to being a reptilian.
You know what's gonna help you get there, though? You know what I hear helps you get there? You gotta sacrifice someone. You never heard that? Have you heard about that before?
Look, bro.
I've
heard that before. I was just gonna say, look, I don't know y'all like that. So if one of y'all come up missing,
we would be the perfect people to sacrifice. Nobody gonna miss us.
No one cares.
Nobody gives a shit
just
about
saying,
us.
bro.
So. You just gotta fly up here to come get us, though.
Y'all gonna come up in there. Look, y'all don't have to know my moves. I'll turn my locations on.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, man. We appreciate you having you on. So let me just tell the people real quick. November 15th, 16 Plasma. Check it out on all streaming platforms. Video coming out soon for Purple. Trying to let you know when that's happening. And just overall, if you want to just take a look at the back catalog of work he's put out, go on the Tron Pheiffer's Bandcamp and take a listen. Again, thank you so much. If you liked what you've heard so far, like comment, subscribe, and check out some merch we have. Thank you.